Good evening, and welcome to a Lego stream. Good evening. Today, I have a really big box to show you. Let's switch over the camera and get right into this because this is a big one tonight. So this is the Creator 3-in-1 Viking ship from a couple years ago. Lego Vikings have there's a little bit of a history with Lego Vikings. Lego did their first Vikings about 20 years ago, where they actually did a full small wave of about 8 or 9 Viking sets. And since then, Lego Vikings have been popular, but Lego hasn't really revisited the theme. There have been a couple Viking inspired characters throughout the CMF line, but a few years ago they put out this Viking ship, and the Lego Vikings came back in full effect. And last year they put out the Lego Viking Village, but I think the minifigures in that one are the same Viking characters you see in the ship. I'm not 100% sure on that. So Vikings are starting to make a comeback, but only in these big, giant 1,000+ piece sets. Actually, I think the Viking Village is a 2,000+ piece set. You can see it's a Creator 3-in-1, which means there's alternate builds in these pictures. Let's go ahead and get a look at this box. And I will apologize in advance because I can't. It's hard to get this whole box to show on camera. It's that big. The size of this box takes up the whole surface of my build table. So yeah, there's the front of the box. And if I can get the back of the box into camera, the back of the box shows a bigger view of the main build here, the Viking ship, which we're doing with the Midgard Serpent. And then we also see the alternate builds. There's a Viking house, and this one looks like a battle with the Fenris Wolf. The Midgard Serpent and the Fenris Wolf are creatures from Norse mythology. I'm not that well versed in Norse mythology, so I'm not going to try and tell you what they are, because then I'll butcher the stories and I'll have some angry Norse mythology fan in my comments. So I'd rather just admit that I don't know their stories than make stuff up. And there's also this red creature here in the house build, which I'm not sure if that's supposed to represent a well-known creature or just some kind of a Norse dragon thing. Well, not a dragon. That looks like it would be a wyvern because it's only got the 2 legs. But yeah, wyverns are another thing that you see a bunch of in Norse mythology. So those are the alternate builds. You saw the main builds. This box is too big, so I'd rather just get this box open. This box is so big, in fact, that it doesn't have the normal push tabs. You can see on the back, it's held together with the tape that they use for like the promo sets. So I'm going to take my trusty tool here. And speaking of tools, the reason I didn't pull out a tool is because this set comes with one. Pretty much all the big sets come with an orange one. A few come with a teal one, but this one I know is an orange one because I looked at the instructions. Anyway, the seal is broken. Let's open this up. There should be 7 numbered bags and 3 instruction books. Okay. Okay. So we have this baggie here, which has these long, narrow, ropey bits. I'm not going to open this up till we need it, till it's called for. This is probably part of the rigging here. And then we have all these other bags. That's 5, 2, 6. Here's bag 1. So bag 7 is going to be the Midgard Serpent itself. Bags 1 through 6 are going to be the actual Viking ship. So let me just set some of these bags off to the side here. There's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll keep bag 1 in front of me right here because we're about to use bag 1. Meanwhile, let's come over here and So this packet is going to be the 3 instruction books. We're only going to be using 1 tonight. Actually, we're going to be using nothing from this packet. But so here's the instructions for the alternate builds. This is the Viking house with a little red wyvern. This is the instructions for the battle with the Fenris Wolf. And here's the main instruction book, which is the Viking ship and Midgard Serpent. This is the one that we'll be looking at today. And I'll go ahead and ditch this big packet. The good thing is no stickers this set. This is also going to be my first Creator 3-in-1 set that isn't animal based. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with our build. That's kind of interesting. Alright, let's pull up the instructions. And just one more close-up view of the alternate builds, because you won't see them again tonight. This is the Fenris Wolf. It looks like there's a little camp scene. And this is the Viking house. And here is the main instruction book and the one we'll be working with tonight. Let's go ahead and step into it. There's the separator instruction page. And here's the guide showing you what each bag does. So bag 1 is the central core. Bag 2 is the rest of the length. Bag 3, we're filling in some of the central structure. Bag 4, we're putting up the rigging. Bag 5, we're putting on the deck structure. And then bag 6, we're putting on the sail and finishing details. And then bag 7 is going to give us the serpent. And this set is so massive, the Vikings aren't going to watch the build. Well, no, we can have them in the corner. We'll see if we can make that work. It's a tradition on this channel. We'll see if we can make that work. So let's go ahead and open bag 1. And bag 1 will give us our first 2 Viking characters. There's the instruction book is about 170 pages, so we'll be here for a while tonight. Get yourself some popcorn. You'll probably need a whole box. Get yourself some snacks, maybe a couple whole meals worth. We'll be here for a couple hours. Strap in and get comfortable. We're going on a Viking adventure. Let's begin, starting with the people. So this first character has brown legs. And then let's look at the 2 armor prints to make sure I use the correct one. I think that's the one I want, but let's be sure. So there's 2 Viking men and 2 Viking women in the set. This bag comes with the first pair of characters, and then we'll see the other 2 characters in bag 5. Let's see here. Green arms. And this one is blue arms, I think. Yeah, so we want to use, this is the piece I want for this character. And then there should be a little bit of a beard piece. Yeah, so this Viking's got a nice beard. That's something you see a lot on Viking characters and other Viking-inspired fantasy races like the dwarves. So, and then he needs to have a helmet put together, and he also will need, he needs a helmet, and we need to put little horn pieces into the helmet. And I'm just looking over this parts pile. The Viking woman in this bag has a really nice hair helmet combo piece that we'll be seeing in a moment. But right now we're working on the Viking man, so. And he's got a axe that we got to put together. So we're going to put his little helmet on. And then we're going to go look. We're going to go look for the 3 pieces for his axe. And then I'll show you our first Viking here. And they're actually using this shiny metallic bit for the metallic finish, or slightly shiny metallic finish for the axe heads here. It's a double-headed axe, so I need to find and attach the other blade before we can continue. So we put his little axe in his hand, and our Viking man is ready for his adventure. Here's our first little Viking warrior character with a classic horned helmet and big giant battle axe. And as I usually do, we'll sit the character down to watch the build for better stability. If they were standing, they'd be falling over all the time. So now let's build the Viking woman. And let's see. She's got a confident, smirky smile going on, and this beautiful hair and helmet combo. I like this character design. And she's just holding a very basic spear, also in the slightly shiny, semi-metallic finish. Here's our Viking lady. You can see that beautiful hair and helmet combo. Probably one of my favorite minifigure, one of my top 20 minifigures in my collection so far. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I might do a stream in January where I might take all the minifigures out of my sets and just talk about all the minifigures. But yeah, we're off to a good start with the minifigures in this set. We've got two very good and beautiful Viking people, and we're going to get two more about halfway through the build. Now it looks like we're going to make a little bit of a bull. And of course, the instructions are the very dark brown, so it's a little bit more difficult for me to read here, but I'll do the best I can. So yeah, our first of two animal builds in this set. The bigger, more substantial build, the serpent, will be in the final bag. So, but for right now, we have this bull that I guess the Vikings are going to take on their trip with them, either to pull heavy equipment or to cook for a nice beefy steak dinner. Either way, the bull has its uses to a Viking society. Okay. So yeah, I have a lot of Lego content planned for the next week or so. And then I'm going to wind down Lego for a bit. I have slowed down my Lego budget a little bit. So we still have a couple sets left in the queue. We have another big set we'll be doing Saturday, because I want to clear out the space in my queue area. And then we'll be doing some Mario next week. As we get closer to the holiday, we're also going to do a couple more gaming streams, hopefully one or two, and then one or two music streams. Probably a karaoke stream and a holiday inspired Suno music robot generated songs program, like I did for Independence Day and my stream milestone. So here's the headless bull, and this next step we're just going to build its head here. Alright, how do we do this? Okay. We need to find the correct little tiny pieces from the parts pile in order to do this head. And these parts are so tiny that you won't be able to see what I'm doing beyond my fingers. So I'm just going to do the best I can and keep what I can on camera, like I usually do. You know, my standard Lego disclaimers that I repeat every stream. So now if I turn this the correct way, and put this on the hook like this, and then we adjust the horns a little bit, and boom, cute little bull build going on here. Too bad he'll be the Vikings dinner by the end of this. Maybe not. Maybe they'll keep him around for work. And now we finally get to start on the ship proper. Starting with this big brown plate. And then this smaller tan plate here. And then what we're going to do is set this aside, because immediately we're going into an assembly. And this is a 2X assembly. You know how we do these on the channel by now. So we're going to build all the way to the end of the page on one. We'll set it down, and then we'll build all the way to the end of the page on the second. And then we'll turn the page and continue until we're done. Excuse me, until we're done with the assembly. So that's the end of the page on the second copy. So now we can keep going. And we see the big 2X at the end, which tells me that once I finish this page, we can just go on with the rest of our build. After the second time we do this, of course. Alright, those are ready to go. Let me just check something real quick. All right, let's keep going. So these attached onto here like this. And we've got the beginnings of the framework for our ship going on here. But it doesn't look like anything yet, and it won't for a while. So there's the beginnings of our Viking ship base going on. This is just the same page 2 times, so I can attach them to the model as I build them. And since this whole build is just the Viking ship until we get to the Serpent at the end, we'll be able to keep pretty much the whole thing on camera, though it will get at one point too big, I think, to have the whole ship on camera with the instructions up. So we'll see what we can do and make adjustments to the camera views as necessary. Hopefully we won't have to do that too much, though. We're starting to create some depth and layering for the base structure here. And now we're going to do another assembly. And we have some of those internal colorful pieces that are going to be impossible to see from the final build. So the bright color interiors that we sometimes see in the core structure bits of big fancy Lego builds. Okay. Yeah, if I don't talk, that just means I'm concentrating. And I temporarily run out of stuff to talk about. Let's see, didn't the instructions say something about a chest in this step? Or in this bag? Okay, I have to go back and check something real quick. Oh yeah, we're supposed to put 2 gems in a barrel. I completely missed that. So here's the barrel. And you know what? If it fits... No, it's not going to fit. Never mind. There's 2 extra gems here, but I won't be able to get them to fit in the barrel, so let's just put in the 2 gems it tells us to, and then boom. The Vikings have some treasure now. Alright, back to this bit. Okay, that goes there. And then these go around the edges. And I forgot to put this little piece there. And just like that, bag 1 is complete. Spare bits include the ox horn, the helmet horn, 2 gems, and the beard piece. Anyway, so after the first bag, this is our Viking ship so far. It doesn't look like much of anything yet. So let's bring on bag 2. And bag 2 is going to start with a 2x. That looks like a pretty substantial 2x. So let's get bag 2 open. I think you're going to like some of the Mario stuff I have queued up for next week. But even more special is the set that I'm planning to do on Saturday on this channel. But this is one set I've been wanting for a long time. I'm glad to finally have this Viking ship in my collection. Okay, bag 2 is out. We're starting with an assembly here. That we have to build 2 times. You know how we do this by now because we already did something like this once on this build. So let's just keep going. There's one of those. Okay, where's that little black wedge? There's one. Okay. We can't turn the page yet. We have to repeat those steps over here for this one. There's what I need. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate a bit right now. And I've run out of stuff to talk about again. That's okay though. Sometimes Lego streams are more about the experience of watching the whole model come together piece by piece than it is about the actual commentary. That goes there. Now let's repeat that page over here on this one. What piece did I forget? Oh yeah. The round brick, where's that? I found out some exciting news regarding my Lego wish list the other day. Stuff for regarding future Lego streams in 2025. No way I'll be securing that one thing, that one special thing I just brought up before the end of the year. It is still expensive, but not as expensive as I thought it would be. You'll see what I'm talking about when I bring it onto the channel next year. Oh, I see what we're doing here. We're creating, I think, the tiered look for the hull of the ship. That's my best guess at any rate of what's going on here. If you look at the shaping. So did this get mounted to the sides of the ship upside down to give it that effect then? Because you can see these curved bits at the front of this section are getting this tiered look that we're kind of putting together here. Okay. Which tells me that if this is two of the corners of the ship, then bag 3 will be the other two opposite corners. So we'll be doing the same 2x madness again in the next bag. And then bag 4 is, I guess, is where we're going to start really seeing this thing take shape. But a model can't take shape until the basic structural bits are in first. That's one of the rules of Lego. You need to have the structure and supports in place before the model itself can be put together. The details and what actually makes it special. Okay. Okay, that all goes on like this. Where's that piece? There we go. Okay. Oh, I just realized my microphone had been unmuted. I don't know how long that was. Um, I'm sorry. So yeah, I wasn't doing any talking the last few minutes anyway. So you didn't miss anything in the immediate past, but I don't know how long the microphone's been off, so sorry about that. But now we're working on this step is an assembly for the assemblies. So I need to make sure I line this up correctly. How does this attach exactly? It attaches to these plates there like that. And then I need to do one more of those assemblies. And then this one will attach onto this assembly like this. And then we will go on to this page. Okay, so this one will go here. And it looks like this page will be the last of the 2x pages for now. So it looks like we'll be going back to the main build momentarily. Wrong. Gotta check which way the wedges are facing. There is a distinction there. Okay, let's come back and do those steps over here. So it looks like the rest of this bag is going to be stuff that secures these sections onto the main section, I guess. That's a prediction at least. Yeah, there should be one more of those. There it is. And so now it shows these getting attached onto the main unit. Like this. And like this. And you can see just how long the ship is going to be. You can also see we need to put in mirror sections on the other sides of the base. So I'm guessing that's bag 3. It looks like this is going to be part of one of the figurehead statues on the ship. Okay. Okay. Interesting. And now an assembly on the assembly is what's going to happen right here. And we're almost done with bag 2. This goes here. And now an assembly for the assembly for the assembly. This is one of the bigger builds I've done, so 'tis to be expected. And I can start to see some of the fancy shaping effects coming together, but still doesn't look like much yet. But we're coming up on the end of bag 2 with this figurehead statue. So we'll be moving on to bag 3 shortly. And I will say, this ship definitely looks awkward with half of the corners removed. Or, I mean, not attached yet. So there's a little bit of a curly-Q effect going on with this assembly in this yellowish orange color. That looks nice. And this assembly attaches onto this assembly like this. And then we have these big curved pieces going in across that construction like this. There's still a lot of open gaps in this assembly. We'll see what that's about. Well, I think some of it is for attaching it between the corner bits, so. Wow, I almost yeeted everything off the table when I bumped the ship like that. So this is a curly-Q tail piece, it looks like. At any rate, it looks nice. But there are parts of it that definitely look unfinished. And that they look like they're connections to other bits. So this is that assembly we just built. And that's going to stick up over this end of the ship. How does that all line up? So all that attaches in like that. And then boom, we have one end of the ship looking like it's shaped up. And now we're going to move on to bag 3. Bag 3 is going to start with the head figurehead for the other end to match the tail figurehead we just put on. I'm sure we're going to see more corner work from bag 3 as well, and do 2 more of those massive corner assemblies. But bag 3 is starting this time with the figure assembly. Okay. This is definitely one of the more advanced builds I've done on this channel.
Where is the vacuum?
Shh.
Where is it?
All right. So this all goes together. So considering that the inset picture gave the suggestion of a dragon head for what we're building now, that means that we actually finally know definitively which end of the ship is the front and which end is the back. And that's a good thing to know moving forward. Because once we start adding detail bits, it's important to know which is front and which is back.
Any micro USB.
Okay, these go on like that. So at least for the base of this section, it's starting off the same as the tail end. But once we get to the yellowish orange detail on the end, then it's going to change up a little bit. Okay, this all goes on like this. And then this section will attach onto here. Okay, this is the way it needs to point. So then we get these things. Okay, that goes there. And then we get some spiky bits. So yeah, this is going to be a dragon head then. Something's not right here. It doesn't appear to be lining up properly. Did I mess something up? So yeah, I have that part sticking out correctly. Oh, I forgot a piece on this part. That's what's going on here. It's easiest to fix mistakes before it turns into a big problem, which is what happened here. We caught the problem before it evolved. That goes there, and now we should be able to attach this piece to the other section correctly, like this. I forgot those big arch pieces, but that's okay. We'll add them here before we move on. I like how the structural... No, we need to do those big arch pieces because these other two pieces latch onto those. But I like how the structural part is... the structural section is consistent on both sides. So yeah, that goes on there. That side is secure. And now I just got to slip this one into here and secure this side. There we go. And those structural bits are now lined up. And I do appreciate the consistency in the structure on both sides, even if it does make for a little bit of repetitive building. With a big build like this, there will be some considerable amount of repetition, I believe. But we've already gotten through some of it, a good chunk of it, so we should be okay going forward. Okay, those are on. Now let's keep going. Yeah, we want to use the darker colored ones for these, I think. It's subtle color difference. Can barely tell in my light, but it's there. We have been streaming just over an hour now, and this bag we should be This bag should take us through the rest of the base structure, and pretty soon we're just going to start building up the details. Ship's looking good so far. Or, I mean, it's not looking good yet, but it's looking... You can see the potential. You can see the cool direction the ship's going to go. We get some more of these horn pieces that I think represent teeth. So our little dragon statue figurehead thing is going to have some scary teeth for intimidation. That's another nice little Viking tactic. That's part of what all the horns and claws in their armors and constructions were about. Intimidation. The Norse Vikings were a proud warrior race. And it shows in their designs. Even in the cartoonified, fantasy-based versions of their designs, a lot of that is still roughly based on real-world discoveries. So this goes onto the front like this, and this little piece is not securely attached, but I almost don't think this lower jaw piece is necessary, but hey, it completes the intimidation look for the figurehead statue. This is what our little dragon head statue looks like. It looks really nice. That's a very good front of the boat. It makes it almost as distinctive as my pirate ship in terms of fancy boat designs. So this will go right here against this corner of the ship. If I line everything up and press it in like we did with the other piece. Like that. And you can see the studs exposed along the sides of the tail structure here. And that's for attaching the other corner. And this, on my side of the ship, the head end also has studs on the side for attaching the other corner. So let's go ahead and, yeah, we're going to start building up these other corner sections now. And remember, this was a big, long build. We'll be on this bunch of pages for a while. We're going into another repetitive section here, but we'll get through it. And once we get through it, we'll begin to start working on the really fun parts of the ship, I think. They could have cheaped out and given us the big hull pieces, and it would have been a less tedious and repetitive build. But as a Creator 3-in-1 set, those pieces would have been mostly useless for other applications, and so it wouldn't have been a good use of your money for a set this size. For a Creator 3-in-1, I mean, of this size. So you prolong the build experience by making the build sections more complex, but you also make it a little more repetitive and tedious. But there's been plenty of fun parts on this build so far too. Watching the figureheads come together. There's going to be a lot more fun parts as we go on. So I'm okay with a little repetition now if it means that our ship is structurally sound and is the correct shape. Lego's a fun process overall, just seeing the build come together piece by piece. Even though, like I said, some parts aren't as fun as other parts. I'm reminded, of course, of that tree branch thing we did on a previous set last month. If you know, you know. Oh, I skipped a step. Well, I didn't skip a whole step. I skipped a piece. We'll go back and fix that right here. If I can find it in my parts pile, which I know it's there because we have two of these parts called for in this bag. All right, there's one. All right. All right, now we need to find that other piece. All right, that's there. Let's make sure we're putting the pieces correctly. Okay, that goes there. This one goes there. Okay, let's keep going. So if we put this one there and like that. All right, that one goes there. And now we just got to repeat this page on the other section. So yeah. Once we figured out what we were doing over here, it became apparent and pretty obvious how we were progressing this build here. But yeah, the ship's shape is coming together nicely. Okay, that goes there. And then here and here. And then this piece onto here. Same over here. And then this one comes around onto here like this. And then we keep building up around these like this. Lots of studs facing in all different directions for this build. This is definitely a fancier, more complex build than our average Lego fare. I like builds like this. I like builds with surprising and unique build techniques. Because it helps show the full it helps show the full potential of what the Lego system is capable of. More so than most sets do. When they're sets with unusual and fancy build techniques like this. There's more and more sets like this, and I appreciate that. In a way, some of these fancier big build sets are just as fun, if not more fun, than the play sets targeted at kids, which are tend to be simpler builds. Okay, so we need to do that again. But yeah, you can see we're almost done with the other two corner assemblies here. And then the Viking ship will have its basic shape, and then the next three bags are about just detailing and building it up and making it really look good.
I really need to get back on top of my money. You know why?
Because you don't have any?
Well, yeah, but I really want to explore overseas. I want to travel, and I can't travel if I don't have money.
Right. I agree.
So yeah, we're almost done with the truly repetitive bits. Uh, I hope. But these bits are critical for the structure, stability, and look and shape of the ship as a whole. We still have 100 pages of instructions left, so we still got a lot of stream left tonight. But at least the basic structure of the ship, the basic shape, is finally apparent. Okay, now we just got to repeat this last page on the other section, and then we'll be able to finally attach these two sections to the ship.
Oh, watch it get ready.
Okay, those are on. And now we can put these on like this. These will attach directly to the statue bits at the front and back of the ship. We'll take this one over here to this side. And this ship is already starting to get heavy. And we still got 3 more bags of content to put on the ship before it's done. Can I position the spear like a third leg? Maybe. So she has a little more stability to sit. Maybe. You can see here. The dragon figurehead went behind the instructions. But I want to keep the ship facing the same way as the instructions for my take. But here, let me show you what we got so far now that we have the basic structure. So you can see this is the core of the ship. It's so long. It's as long as my little table here. You can see here the figurehead statue bits, the dragon head, the dragon tail. Nice little effect there. And we got to fill in all the middle stuff now before this really looks good. But we've got the basic shaping going. We've got... This ship is really going to start to look good soon. And let's point it the same way as the picture. Let's fix our person. And let's proceed. Bag 4. So this is where we're going to get these 6 little bits. I'll take them out of the bag. Well, let's dump the bag 4 stuff first. We'll get those out when we need them. Bag 4. Bag 4 is one of the bigger bags here. We'll be on bag 4 for a while. There's a number of big substantial pieces in bag 4. This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun trying to look through the parts pile without scattering anything to the floor. That's going to be a toughie, but we'll get through it. And our first little bit of lifestyle bits on the ship with these two little torches to give the Vikings some light as they sail from the night, or as they sail through the night. I meant to say.
I think the simpler one. Yeah.
Okay, I need to find one more flame and one more little clip.
Open up the new traps and see what they look like. So, just for fun, I've been working on building a 3-week itinerary of things that I want to do in Japan. And I know it's an itinerary, but it's done. It'll be about 3 weeks, and it'll
Excuse
cover
me.
from
Excuse me.
it covers.
Sorry about that. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, this will go here, like that. And then we will go on to this page. Okay? This step is easy enough. We're creating studs on like every available surface. This thing is going to be really detailed by the time we're done here. Each piece we put on is one less piece getting in our way in the parts pile. So as we move through the steps, the part searching should become shorter and shorter with each step. 8 of these.
Oh, I see how this works.
I don't think you're supposed to be talking in there.
I'm not.
All right, let's keep going. Okay, now it wants us to go onto the bottom of the ship. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting prospect given the space and the fact we've already built up way above it. So let me pull aside. I don't normally do this, but let me set aside first the pieces I need for this step. This is those smooth, rounded bits that they put on the bottom of spaceships and boats so that they can rest smoothly on the surface. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. So let me see. This is mostly going to be off camera just because of how massive this thing is. But I will go ahead and hold it in one hand and put in these little bits with my other hand like this. It's interesting that these rounded bits are blue on the set because usually they match the color of whatever the main color of whatever the vehicle is. But it's refreshing to see them brightly colored this time because it adds to the colorful vibe that the ship's going to have once we add up all the detail in the coming bags.
I'm out here, what?
Okay, we can set it up right again.
I'm doing research. Listening won't do anything.
So it says to put that there. And to put this one here. Yeah, I was right not to pull out those other pieces until the instructions call for them. Given how much this parts pile is just in the way right now, given how massive this model is. Yeah. So it looks like we're doing some more structural layering on the sides right now. Interesting. Let's see. Okay. Excuse me. Wow, we still have like 100 pages of instructions, but we seem to be moving a little bit quicker now. Now that we don't have to 2x everything. Okay, why is that not? Alright, that is stable. Okay. Okay. So it looks like right now what we're doing is some basic layering and shaping detail, so that when we put in the surface details in the next two bags, the ship will really look good. There it is. And now we do an assembly. It looks like this is going to be the central mast, maybe? Well, the Viking ship only really has one main mast. So yeah, this is the mast. This is where the sail is going to eventually go. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . but I can't start it until I find the correct piece in the pile. And I am not seeing the correct piece in the pile. There it is. It was hiding behind things. So the mast, it looks like, has some technical elements going on to it. Wow. And then we make the mast even taller now with this axle piece. And now we just start dropping more bits onto the mast here. I haven't done a build like this since I originally built the Black Pearl many years ago. So this is taking me back a little bit, doing this central mast like this. I've had other long thin builds like this, so I should take back what I said, but I mean this is the first really similar thing I've done since that. And then we make the mast even longer with this little gray axle. And then the whole thing turns upside down and goes into this hole like this. Yeah, everything's facing the right way. And the central mast is now in the ship. And now is when we add these bits here. But there's 6 or 7 in the bag. This step's only calling for 4 of them. So let me set these up here in the aside area, and I'll just take out 4 for right now. And I'll grab the others if they're called for later. And these are supposed to go into plug into here like this. With all 4 on, it should hold the central mast steady. one more for now. Like I said, there's several pieces, several of these pieces still sitting out. They must be for future rigging bits. Okay, why can't I get this to hold straight? Okay, it looks fairly straight. It'll probably look even straighter once we add the sail. The sail will also force perspective. So we're going to get used to more of those things right now, it looks like. Okay, this will go in here. Now this bit has some flexing going on. So, this bit is more flexible. So this must be used, this section must be used for some shaping things going on. And this is a 2 times, so I need to do one more of those before we actually see where they go. We're about to hit the 2-hour mark of stream. I think we're making good time. Okay, so these are front and back rigging lines. Interesting. Well, I just knocked over both Vikings that time. Given the nature of this model, I think that's going to be a common occurrence on the stream. Especially next bag when we add the other 2 characters. Wow. So yeah. So we've got the main rigging lines in now. And I still have one set off to the side here, it looks like. Alright, so let's go on with the build now. We can return to regular Lego pieces for a little while, it looks like. Okay, here's a little bit of a repetitive step, but it's going to knock a bunch of pieces out of this pile. At this point, the ship's going to obscure a lot of what I'm doing behind the ship. Sorry about that, can't be helped, but I'm trying to keep as much of the action on camera as I possibly can. It's just tough given how big and substantial this model has become. And it's going to become even bigger and more substantial as we finish up this bag and add the last 2 bags. I'm glad I got this set. It's looking really nice already. This is going to look really good in the display space that I've set for it. Here's a 2x, but it's a one-page 2x.
I'm aware I have the same kind of regions as Norse, so I'm aware. Working shows a lot
Well,
of
that's
fun.
kind of what he's dealing with. The city's not that easy.
I get that.
But I get what you're saying. And you have to get all this trash out of here.
I know.
What?
What?
What's Northwest Living? It's very greedy from there.
Okay, this goes on like this.
Must not stop.
And then these will go on to, how does that line up? That lines up with the middle one like this, right? Yeah. So all of this lines up with what we've already done on the sides, like this. Now let's do the same. Let's put this other section over here on this side, the same way. Everything studded together. Those bits are secure. Let's go on. Okay, let's keep going. And I see 2 silver fish pieces. Food supply for the Vikings, maybe? Why isn't this piece going on? Why isn't this piece lining up? Okay, this piece is supposed to go right here. There it goes, finally. And then one more of those little quarter sections. Which will go over here. So that's some interesting detailing we got going on now. We've got a layer of yellow at the bottom of the ship, a yellow stripe, and then the body is painted blue. This is a really interesting color scheme. I like it. And now these corner bits go in to finish the look. Well, they don't finish the look, but they pretty much finish the shaping of the base. There's not really much left exposed along the sides after I attach these corner pieces. So that's what the side of the ship looks like. Yeah, that looks nice. That's got some nice shaping to it. The ship is also heavy already, and we still got a bit to go. Now we just gotta finish off the shaping a little bit, make it a little smoother. I'm gonna turn this around a bit. Here, enjoy the dragon head for a couple moments as I apply this step to the other side.
I have been working longer than you have, but I've only been working about 45 minutes, and I don't think I can do anymore. And I can't, I mean, this all has to be done.
It hurts so much to be able to do a full hour before a break. If it still feels like this after my sleep study, I might take myself back to education first.
I just put those on the wrong end according to the instructions. I gotta pay more attention to where the dragon head is in the instructions.
First again, because they gave me the wrong medication. They put me to bed. So I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna call somebody that's in primary care.
I'm gonna turn this back around.
You really gotta get pressure.
So I can make sure I'm doing things correctly on the correct side.
You're gone all day.
And let's readjust these flames so that they're straight.
I don't know how you're gonna get all done on Sunday. I don't know how I'm gonna get done.
We're very few pieces left for this bag. We'll be moving on to bag 5 soon. I don't see exactly how these are oriented in there. Is it? I think I see. Oh, I see. They're coming off of these pieces like this.
I know, but I also physically have been paid $10
Okay, so on this side, instead of torches, because we already have torches, we have fish hanging over the fires that are already placed before. So these are cooking fish. Okay, that's pretty clever.
Watching YouTube isn't gonna get it done. I had the same problem today. No more time for this problem. What? A big one, a black one, or a white one?
logs in here where there's plenty of trash that is within reach.
So we go into bag 5, and we've got the structure and shape of the Viking ship. The last 2 bags are just going to be detail at this point, and bag 5 is going to start with the other 2 Viking characters. It looks like one more Viking warrior with the same horned helmet and a sword, and then another Viking lady with a small axe, no helmet.
We're almost out of bags.
Let's go ahead and carefully get bag 5 out. Bag 5 looks like it's mostly smaller pieces, so the parts pile should be a little more manageable here. Oh, wow. Okay. Bag 5 actually has one of these little cardboard packets, which suggests a fabric or paper piece. So let's peek open and see if it's a minifigure part. Because if it's not a minifigure part, we'll set it aside till we need it. It came with one of these little cardboard packets. That's what I'm talking about. Often that means there's a cape for a minifigure, but sometimes it can be something. Come on out. No, it's a little white rubber band. Probably used for some of the masting, I guess. It's definitely not on these minifigure images. So let's go ahead and I'll start on the minifigures here. So yeah, not a lot of pieces in bag 5. So once we get these 2 characters built, we should be able to breeze through bag 5 reasonably quickly and get to bag 6. So he has a printed beard. This is actually looks like, yeah, it's a little fur, a layer of fur for his jacket here. Okay, that's definitely the lady's face. Here's the Viking man's face. And his beard is printed. Unlike the other Viking's beard, which was a separate piece. Interesting. So he needs to get a helmet. So we need to find the helmet piece and add the horns onto the helmet piece. like we did with the first guy. And we just passed the 2 hour mark of stream, and the ship's moved from structure into detailing, so we're making good time. So the helmet is done, and now we just gotta find his sword. Okay, I'm not sure why the sword's not going into the hand like it should. But yeah, I like this layer of fur piece that we've put around the top of his jacket here. Here's the second Viking warrior, complete with his sword, horned helmet, and fur around his jacket. We'll seat him with the others. And now I just have to find the parts for this last Viking lady, who has no helmet. She just has one of the classic girl hair pieces. And a very confident, smirky smile going on. And now we just gotta make her little axe. And then we will be ready to move back into working on the ship.
Oh, dear.
So there's our last character, the second Viking lady, and a nice single axe. Not quite as powerful as the first Viking warrior's double axe, but still very useful in a fight. So now, with all 4 Vikings in hand, we can finish the ship. That's this. Now for the rest of these steps, it's important that I have everything facing the correct direction. Right now it shows the dragon head forward, which is how I'm looking at it, so let's proceed. Okay, that goes there. And then this goes here. And then these 2 go here. Give me one moment. I got an alert. I need to look something up for a moment. That's why I turned the browser off for a moment. Alright, the alert was nothing. Okay. We're good. Let's keep going. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be a tabletop because we're putting a single coffee mug on it. That's what it has us doing. This little coffee mug piece here. Oh, you know what this is? You know what we just put up here? This is a dining table, and those jumper studs are so that the Vikings have a place to sit at this long table where they're going to feast. Now where are these pieces going? Okay, it's hard to see exactly what's going on here. Suggest there's one here, I think. And then one there. And I hope I'm getting this right. And then one in there. It does show one plate height higher on that, so I think I interpreted the instructions correctly. I just hope so, rather than just thinking so. And then we have some pillars going on. Interesting. It looks like these want to line up with the corners of the table, like this. And then some shorter pillars here. So look, all right, and then there should be one more of those little pillars. Okay. So this will go on like this. And these will go, this needs to be up here, and then this can go on top like this. And then we need to do one more of those little sections. It basically looks like a column top. Not exactly sure what we're building over here on this end of the ship.
Hey, Glenn.
It wasn't clear in the pictures, but I guess we'll find out. Alright. Usually when I have trouble finding a piece in the parts pile, it's because it's hiding under something. I'm really hoping that's the case here, because this is a tiny piece we're looking for. Found it. And yes, it was hiding under something. this one will go. Oh, I messed up the placement on this one. The tiles are supposed to be facing out from the interior of the pillars, like that. Now I can take this one and place this one over on top of these pillars were not lined up correctly. Now I can place them like this. And it's assembly time. Very repetitive step, but it will use up a good chunk of the pieces from this bag. So it looks roof shaped. So we're probably creating a little sheltered area for them to dine in. It's nice of them to include seating for all 4 Vikings at the same time in the little sheltered area. Okay, we're halfway done with this bit. It's 11 p.m. here where I am. We'll be done with this probably, I estimate it'll be around midnight. Hopefully we'll be. So there's this little roof section. And then it has us do some more, these little slopes here. And then these little decorative bits. Okay, and then I've just got to do these 2 little decorative bits. And my fish are not hanging evenly. Oh well. The place I have this assigned for display, you're not even going to be able to see those little cooking fish. So I don't think it's quite a huge deal that they're not quite straight. I still got to figure out how I want to do the people, because if I put them in the ship, they're not really going to be that visible in the display, given the space I've chosen out for this. And I probably won't be able to put the serpent up with it. The serpent will probably just have to be stored. So this little roof is going to go over the dining table area like this. And like most Lego vehicle roofs, it's designed to be easily removable so that you can take it off for easier access to put the people inside. But because it's an open-sided structure, it's probably not that hard to just get your fingers in there. So a nice little covered dining area at the back of the boat. So now we have to do another assembly. And there's not a very substantial amount of parts left for this bag, so I'm guessing this assembly might, given the how complex this assembly looks like from the inset picture, This may actually take carry us out to the end of the bag. And when we finish this bag, there's only one more bag of ship. And then we still have to do the serpent afterwards, which is just the last bag. I think this is... No, it's not quite. We're not quite there yet. Nor do I want to jinx myself this close to the end of this set. Okay. Excuse me. To be fair, it is getting late where I am. But that's normal for these streams that I do. The big, long Lego sets. I've got another big one scheduled for Saturday. So yeah, there's that to look forward to as well. I'm really excited about that one. And then I have some Mario sets for next week. And I have something really special coming in the mail for the week between Christmas and New Year. I'm only going to probably do one Lego stream that week, but I have something really special coming for that.
What? Let's go to Rick's.
Okay, I'm not sure what we're building here.
I'm gonna go to bed soon anyway, so. Yeah, I know. He's rustling about.
Okay. So here's where the rubber band goes. Somehow.
So I'm gonna leave that room in about an hour.
Okay, how does it go? It has its going on the hooks, and the rubber band goes around the inside like this and onto the other hook. Is that how it goes?
But I'm doing what I can.
And a piece just fell into the table, but I can't even see which piece it was. Man, I hope I'm doing this correctly. So it says we're supposed to put this little pyramid piece onto this plate and put this over here like this. So the rubber band does something. So this is going to be a launcher of some kind. And then we have a little bit of a Technic assembly going on here. disconnect. Onto here like this. And then we take this other Technic assembly, or Technic piece, to secure that assembly into place. And then these two big horn pieces that are decorative but intimidating. So this must be a weapon of some kind for defense. Ship defense, I think the horns will look better if I put them this way. And so yeah, so this looks like a defensive system for the ship, and that'll go on this little axle we stuck into the front of the ship behind the dragon head at the beginning of the build, like this. And this thing rotates, and the rubber band makes it a spring-loaded launcher. And so apparently these little gray round bricks are the cannonballs. You push one in, you pull it back, and then it launches. And it says there's 6 of them, but I only have 5 of them in my parts pile. So one of them must be the part that fell off the table a little while ago. Let's find it. And meanwhile, these other parts are going to be extras at this point. Let me go ahead and... It does have a place on deck for these to line up, which is nice of them to give us a place for these. Because a lot of sets with launchers don't always give you a place in the set to store the ammo. So the fact that they have ammo storage built into this set is really nice. And another one just went off the table as well, so. And I've got bits falling off that I'm hitting against, so. So let's go on the floor, find our 2 missing I don't think they're meant to be cannonballs, because this is the Vikings we're talking about, and cannons weren't invented yet. So probably catapult rocks, maybe? The thing looks like a giant crossbow, but the ammo bits are not crossbow bolt shaped. Let me attach these to the ammo storage before I move the table back. Alright. Now we're not going to drop those again, and we're ready to move on to bag 6, which is, once my camera refocuses, bag 6 is going to be the final bag of the ship. So yeah, that's a nice little weapon on the front of the ship, a nice little covered dining area for on the back of the ship for them. This is coming together nicely at the 2.5 hour mark. Bag 6 is going to start with a little bit of Technic, it looks like. Bag 6 has a lot of stuff going on in it. This is interesting. Lots of white and red. So that would be the sail, I think. The white and red we see in this pile. So bag 6 is going to be the sail and the big decorative shields, I think, on the sides of the ship. Bag 6 starts with this little Technic assembly, though. That's not the piece. It's always a good idea to make sure you're trying to attach the correct piece to your assembly. Of course, it always helps if you can actually find the piece in your parts pile. This table is quite cluttered at this point. There's the piece. So this section looks like it goes somehow along the top of the ship.
Probably do, but I need I need this. I need tools that are small enough, and I don't currently have any.
Here, let me show you what I have.
I don't need a bio break, but I might need to do a stretching break soon. I'm afraid to move the table with the parts pile in its current state, though. But I mean, I've gone over 2.5 hours without a stretch break, at least. That might be a new record for me in terms of not doing a stretch break. So
I've done it. I've done it twice. I did it once with mine and once with yours.
maybe I don't need one. We're close to the end of the build. Let's see how I feel as we approach the end of bag 6. Because we've still got another whole bag behind this one. Okay, so the Technic assemblies we just made are the top section of the mast that the sail is going to hang from. And here is the big sail that we're going to build up. Okay. It's a brick-built sail because it's a Crater 3-in-1. If this were a dedicated Viking theme, the sail would probably be a big fabric piece. mean, with these sail pieces going on, that's taking a lot of the bulk out of the parts pile. So as we move forward with this bag, it'll be much easier to find the parts.
I know. The Kirkland branded ones, I think, are priced cheaper.
So we're using tiles and curved slopes to give the sail a nice smooth look. And this is going to look nice when it's put into the display.
It's documented that there are some manufacturers for Costco.
Now that's a plate. We want the tile. And now we turn it over. And what we're doing right now, I think, is strengthening up the back and adding the attachments for putting it up on the mast. And now we add these curved bits to give it that distinct curvy fabricy shape. Okay, these are on. Last piece of the curve here. And then we come here and we're going to plate in some things to secure the connections. It actually goes here, and this one goes here. Thank you, piece, for not falling all the way off the table. And then we have these plates up here. They're probably going to be how we actually hang this thing. And this is ready to be hung. Our sail is ready to be placed onto the ship. And so we're going to take these bar connections and attach them into these studs on the side of these Technic bits here. And once we secure all four, the sail will be done. And it just hangs freely like that, so it can flop around in the wind a little bit. It has a little bit of flex, like a real sail would have, even though it's hard plastic and not soft fabric like most Lego sails. Anyway, I almost pushed my people off the table there. That was almost a disaster. The Vikings are almost ready to go on their ship. But there's what it looks like with the sail attached. That's nice. You can see here the curve, how it curves back, the little curve shape of the sail. We're getting there with this build. And now we have a little 2x build. And is this what I think it is? Let me build this up, and then we will see. But I think this is something special from the Norse mythology here. If this is what I think it is. We have to build 2 of these. Interesting. Yeah, you know what this is? It uses these little diver flipper pieces for feathers. We're building a pair of black birds, the famous ravens from Norse mythology. Okay, I need to look them up real quick because this is a Norse reference. There's 2 specific ravens in Norse mythology that these are going to be a reference to, I think. So, Hugin and Munin. Hugin apparently represents memory, and Munin represents thoughts and desires. And those are the pet ravens. Those are Odin, the Norse god's 2 pet ravens. The other creatures featured in the set, of course, there was a wyvern, which is the 2-legged dragon in the alternate build, so we won't be seeing that tonight. There was the Fenris Wolf, which we won't be seeing tonight, because that was the alternate build. And the last bag is going to be the Midgard Serpent to battle against the Viking ship. So we will be seeing that one tonight. I'm not going to look up there. I'm not going to look up theirs. I don't want to spend too much time on researching the mythology. We're almost 3 hours in, and I don't want this to be a 4-hour stream. So it's going to be hard to get this bird to show up on camera because there's a lot of little details. But there's one. Where can I get it against the light? You can kind of see the raven shape going on over here. It's not so dark. Yeah, you can kind of see the raven shape going on. And I need to build a second one of those because the instructions call for having 2 of them. If it was just one little bird build, I probably would not have made the connection with the Hugin and Munin, but because there were specifically 2 of them, I knew I had to at least get their names. So that's a cool touch on this Viking ship. So I'm almost done with the second bird, and once I finish the second bird, we'll go ahead and get them attached to the ship. I don't know if in the build these are meant to represent statues or if they're meant to represent actual ravens that traveled with the Vikings. I guess they could work as either in the context of this build, since there's no way to know for sure. Okay, and that shows these perching on the top of the sail like this. Well, not the sail, the mast. They're sitting on top of the mast piece. So if I carefully bring them up to the camera, well, you won't be able to see it from that angle, but you can see the bird sitting up there now. And now, okay, so it looks like we do a little flag piece. And this will go on top of the mast itself like this. And if I tilt it forward, you can see that little flag there. And then we need to build the shield base 8 times. So we're going to build 8 different shields and then tile them off, it looks like. So yeah, we want to check our alignments and make sure that the pyramids are at 45-degree angles. And we got to build 8 of these bases and then I'll tile them off. So here's what the untiled shield will look like. We need to do 8 of those and then we can add the tiles and color up the shields. So bear with me a moment while I build these. This is a little bit of a repetitive step. And it looks like, based on the parts pile in front of me, that these shields are the last piece of the Viking ship assembly. This will take us right to the end of bag 6, and then bag 7 will be the Midgard Serpent. One of the bigger creatures in Norse mythology. I think it has some kind of connection to Yggdrasil, the World Tree, and Ragnarok, the battle to end all battles at the end of time. I don't really know the Norse stories, so I'm not going to make assumptions, tell stories. I'd rather just admit I don't know than have Norse mythology fans yelling at me in the comments that I'm getting their favorite stories all wrong. So
You said that already.
this will be the 5th shield base that I'm putting together now. So I still have a couple more to do, but we're moving through this repetitive stuff pretty quickly because at this point it's getting late. It's 11:30 where I am. And I'm not going to finish by midnight, but I'd like to finish as close to midnight as possible. But given the shields are the final detail on the ship itself, we're getting there. I'll probably take the ship off the screen when we move into the next bag for doing the serpent. Because otherwise you won't be able to see. The serpent won't have its proper chance in the spotlight otherwise, because the ship is so big and you won't be able to see me building the serpent behind it. So I have a space for it in front of me. And it looks like that final piece of the rigging from the rigging bag. It looks like that's going to be a spare because it never came up again in the instructions. That's a pretty generously big piece to be given as a spare. But it's also got very limited utility, so I guess we'll see. Unless it comes up again in the Serpent somehow. Alright, I have my 8 shield bases. Once again, this is what they look like without all the tiling. And now if we go to this next page, it shows us how to tile them all. The different color arrangements. There's 2 shields that are shown with straight, but I think I'm going to give them all this quartered checkerboard pattern instead. I think I like the checkerboards a little better, and the tiles do leave a little bit of room for customization. So there's the first shield. So yeah, I think that the 2 shields here that are portrayed half and half, I think I'm going to just checkerboard those patterns too. There's the second shield. Yeah, it definitely looks nicer in the checkerboard than in the half and half. In the original Viking wave from years ago, in those sets, shields like this would have been done with round tiles with stickers, I think. They wouldn't have given us tiled off brick built shields like this. It would have been single tiles or shield pieces with stickers. Alright, we're almost done with our shields. We got 2 more of these to do. And then we can actually put them on the ship and be done with the ship itself. I do like how the shields are all different color patterns. So yeah, the shields are ready to go. Now's as good a time as any to take the spare bits off. And I see how these shields are going to attach in. Alright, so with the head facing towards the right, It wants this color arrangement here along this side. So what I'm doing now is I'm attaching these shields onto this side of the ship where I can see what I'm doing. And I want to try and straighten them up. They don't have to be perfectly straight, but I don't know which side I'm going to display. Let's see. I may move the shields around so that my 4 favorite shields end up on the display side. In fact, let's do that actually. I'll do that later. It's not going up right away. I'll need a few days to get its display space ready. So turn it around and I'll line up shields on this side. And we've only got about 35 pages of instructions left. That's going to be the Serpent. But the Viking ship itself looks like it's finally done here. Yeah. Bag 7 is, yeah, just the Serpent. So I did turn off the instructions so I could show off the ship real quick. I can't give you a really good close-up view because it's too big. But you can see the 2 ravens sitting on top of the mast there, above the sail. You can see the dragon head, the dragon tail, the sheltered dining area in the back of the ship, the big crossbow up front, shields along the sides. Lots of detail, and this is a heavy ship. And I'm now going to set it off to the side here so that we can bring in bag 7 and begin building up the Midgard Serpent, which is, like I said, one of the bigger creatures in Norse mythology. And for the first time this stream, or the first time since the beginning of the stream, I have a reasonably clear table with which to work. Since now that the ship is done, I can move it off the screen so we can focus on the side build. We just passed the 3-hour mark of stream. So I think we're going to come in at just under the 4-hour mark. But yeah, this has been a real endurance trip, considering I decided to try and do this without a bio break. But you know what? Before we start the Serpent, let me at least do a little stretching break here. When I do my display, there probably won't be room to put the Serpent with it. I'll probably have to bag the Serpent in the storage box with the manual, but I'm okay doing that because at least the main ship itself will be on display. Alright. There's a little room to spread out. No reason I should have the parts piled high like that. let's get right into it. This has already been a long stream, and it's getting late. So yeah, this suggests we have a bunch of these body segments to do. There will probably be some 2X's in this build. I am really enjoying this build. I enjoyed that ship. I enjoyed seeing it come together. I haven't done such a big ship since I did the Black Pearl many years ago. Originally. Lots of hinges and joint pieces so far. Or I should say not so far, but in this parts pile. Given that these are the only 4x4 plates, this must be the main central body section that the rest of the creature is going to stand on. I do apologize if I stop talking and just focus. I'm at the point in stream where I want to start thinking about getting it done so I can get some rest. But I'm still enjoying it even if I'm not talking. I'm just starting to get a little tired, is all. This set didn't make sense to split up to me into 2 streams because the Viking ship was 6 of the 7 bags itself. The Serpent's just 1. If there was more of a balance of pieces, then this probably would have been a 2-streamer. But the way the bags were divided, it didn't make sense to me to do that. Oh, it's got these purple grill pieces for scaling details. Interesting. Let's use the correct axle pieces. Okay, here we go, starting on with some of the body sections now. Interesting. So these surface details are actually in two subtly different colors, both turquoise-ish. Well, one's more of a sky blue, one's more of a kind of a greenish aqua blue. Interesting. I guess that's to provide a little bit of extra texture to the colors going on here. Let me just check the picture real quick. Are those studs supposed to be exposed at the side? Yes, okay. Okay, yeah, so sorry I'm not talking much anymore. I just want to focus right now. There's one. Okay. Okay, so this one goes here then. Well, okay, so it's off balance now. Which I knew would happen if we built up on one end of the serpent first. But as we build up the rest of the serpent, it will rebalance itself and be able to stand straight again. Okay. Please excuse the coughing in the background. Someone else in this apartment is apparently having a little bit of an emergency right now. Everything's fine though. So according to this, it's supposed to pose like this in the picture. But of course we can't because the whole thing is off balance right now. Lots of these big, heavy joint pieces for the sections of the serpent's body.
What?
I think that brick's gonna be it.
That's not good. Where were you when this started?
That looks like it has a lunch strap.
Shit, that's not good. Did you go to the hospital?
I don't know.
Okay, this one joints in like this. Go up like this.
Did your side hurt? Drink some water. So you were sitting in the living room.
Oh, I think so.
Was there dust in where you were working?
I don't know. Maybe.
So the serpent's coming together fairly reasonably quickly. This looks like it's going to be the final tail segment here, based on the fact it uses the one of the old dinosaur tail pieces and comes to a point with no further attachment points on this end.
Drink some water.
Let's find this little gray connector so that we can attach it in and move on to the other end of the serpent and start balancing this creature out. So the back half of the creature is done. Now we got to do the front half of the creature.
It does seem to be slowing down though.
Ow.
That's what I was doing 3 nights ago.
Well, me too, but it's different. Bring this stuff up.
We're doing some interesting things with the shaping on this section. But yeah, the serpent's coming together pretty quickly. There's still a lot of pieces in front of me. We're still going to be here a little bit, but there's only about 18 pages, 19 pages of instructions left, so I won't be here too terribly much longer.
I don't know where mine are. Which pocket? Ooh, cash. Ooh, cash. Oh, you said backpack. I didn't realize there was a secret pocket.
Alright,
It does seem to be slowing down.
this is an interesting looking section that we're doing here.
Put this back on the table.
Boy. Just put this on top. Don't put it away. Put it on top. Because I gotta get some of the full up.
So yeah, this section that we're building right now appears like it's going to be pretty substantial and probably have enough weight to counterbalance the tail assemblies we did. Excuse me. We just hit midnight here, and we're at just about the 3.5 hour mark of stream. And I forget where I was going with that thought. Suffice to say, it's getting late. It's a good thing we're almost done here, because I'm gonna need a break. I'm gonna need water, and I'm starting to feel the need to pee. But we're so close to the end of the build, so let's finish this up, and then we will call it. But yeah, definitely a lot of substance in this segment that we're building now. Actually, there's a hinge there, I think. No, that's not a hinge. Is this a... Yeah, so I guess this really is one big, longer segment. So this would be the creature's neck then, I guess. There it goes. All right, let's just keep going. Every step we complete makes the parts pile a little smaller and brings us one page closer to the end of stream. Which at this point is a good thing because I'm really thirsty.
Oh.
Okay, now we take this other piece and then we put in this stopper axle here, through here. Excuse me a moment. Alright, sorry about that. Anyway, let's continue. So we have this joint section. We need to put it through here and line it up with this like this. And then we put this one here on this side. There's a little bit of axle sticking out. That's not going to be symmetric. So let's keep going. Okay, so we just put a little yellow stopper on. Is that all we do here? That's definitely not symmetric. Nor does it go with the established color scheme of the creature. So this section looks like it goes in and lines up here with these sections. And then I have to push these axles in. And then we have this exposed red pin up here, which is where the creature's head is eventually going to go. But with the neck section placed, the thing balances on the middle body section now. Balance has been restored to the creature. All right. So now it just has us filling in some of the gaps here in the body where we put in the those Technic frame pieces. So yeah, we're covering up the Technic frames with some more of the color scheme details here. So given how many pieces we still have left, it looks like the head is going to be a fairly substantial build for this creature, unless we have a few more neck sections. But given how high that red pin is compared with the rest of the body now and the tail, I have a feeling that most of this, what's left, is going to go towards the creature's head at this point. We still have to do this other pair of body finishers, though. I do think that the serpent's been an interesting build so far. One of the more unique brick-built animal experiences I've done, both with physical Lego and on the computer. Okay. One more of those little body segments. And then I think it's going to tell us to start putting the head section together. Unless there's one more little neck section that the head will connect to. Given the parts pile, that wouldn't surprise me. Alright. So yeah, definitely going to have another Lego stream on Saturday. That's another big set. Oh, I think that piece count is about 200 pieces less than this one. It's got a lot more people in it, though. It's got 9 characters in that one.
Ow.
Are the pins pointing up? I think. Yeah. We want to put this on the pin, the big red pin, like this. Okay, so based on the inset picture, this is going to be the serpent's head that we're building now, which should be the last section of the build, given that we've got the tail through the body and up through the neck already built up here. Wow, our people have gone off screen. I've pushed the front edge of the table off screen. Okay. I just saw previews of several of the January sets. So yeah, there will definitely be some exciting Lego content going into the new year. As for the rest of this year, we'll have the big set on Saturday. We'll have some Lego Mario next week, and have something really special for the week between Christmas and New Year. Beyond that, we'll have to see what the new year brings. There'll be more Mario, of course. I want to get a full set of all the Mario interactions. I think it's doable, but that'll still be a long-term project. I've talked about possibly doing Animal Crossing. That's still being considered for a 2025 project. Given its limited number of sets, it should be really easy to put together a full set of that. A couple other themes I'm thinking about doing. Video, even though it's a defunct theme, is very finite. and it's got a nice minifigure collection that I can do in display cases. So that's a possibility. There's lots of possibilities for what the new year will bring for Lego on this channel. I've been saying for a long time I want to get into more gaming content as well. So we'll be doing some of that. And we'll probably do a karaoke stream coming up soon. I did some tests for that. And I want to do around the holiday week. One of my programs with these song generation robots, Suno. So yeah, that's a look at the next few weeks and months on this channel. But I'm going to do Chinese New Year again. It's at the end of January, so first week of January I'll pick out which set I want to acquire for that and put it into the reserve once it arrives for the end of the month. Oh, that's cool. Alright. So this is how they sculpted out the side of the face. You can see that trans orange piece sticking out to be the eye, and the rest of the shaping, how they did it around it. That's a pretty cool arrangement on this set. And the piece pile is definitely fading fast at this point. So yeah, this head is definitely going to be the final section of this build. And then we'll set up our exit display. Although I don't think I'll pose the Vikings, I'll just leave them sitting in front because it's getting late. And we'll find somebody to raid, hopefully. It's really late. It's at that awkward period of time of night where most of the evening streamers are gone for the night. But the late night streamers in Europe, they show up late night here because they're based in Europe. They don't show up for another couple hours. So we may not have anyone to raid tonight, but we'll see. We'll see what I can find. We're off screen again. I keep pushing the table off screen. Probably the way I'm leaning over it. No worries. Not a big deal. I've changed the way I log my parts inventory on Bricklink so that I no longer have to worry about every little individual extra piece. I just have a broad idea of what's in my collection. So we're creating this little bar thing that's going to go on these clips down here. Oh, I see what... Oh yeah, I've seen this technique before. This is how the creature's lower jaw is going to attach. But first we got to put these two big giant snake tooth pieces on. Because this Midgard Serpent has big giant fangs. So there, that goes on like that. And now we'll start working on this assembly, which I think is going to be lower jaw, maybe. This creature is such a different build experience from the ship that we did before, the ship that it is paired with. It's kind of refreshing, actually. So much of Creator 3-in-1 is animal-based these days. In the past, they also did a nice variety of vehicles and buildings, but the last couple waves have largely been animal-based.
I can see that, yeah. We'll get it out of the house is what my part is. What are you eating?
Just a little past midnight here.
You had 2 bowls of cereal. Probably with milk and sugar.
Okay, I see what's going on here. So yeah, this is going to be the creature's lower jaw. I see the clips where it's going to attach that bar in the main section of the head. And
Yeah, well, it was not the kind of cough. It was different. I had something caught on the side of my throat, and I felt like I was throwing stuff up in my stomach. Yeah, I hope not. Can you look at the stuff that's in this hallway and get rid of the put in recycling what we don't need? I don't know if they're coming in up and down the hallway though. I don't see a whole lot of stuff. They're going across. I see going across from the kitchen to the utility room, but I don't see a whole lot going this way. And I don't know what I did, but
okay, that's a cool piece for the snake tongue. And it's in this weird purplish color. I've never seen a purple tongue before.
lumbars places. No, I know it's not. I have to wait a month before I see it. Before I see.
There is some exposed red on the bottom of the jaw because of the way it's designed, but whatever. So there.
I can't relax until Tuesday.
So yeah, our creature's head is coming along, and now we have these diver flippers again. This time for the head crest pieces.
But here's my issue. I only have the button. And there is stuff all over the place. And where are they going to put it? And I think I'm the source. Because I have more than 1,000. So I can't really relax. You've got to get this room put down. You hear me? And I'm not even thinking about cleaning. But the kitchen, the baseboards are filthy. You got crumbs in your beer.
Okay, so yeah, this looks nice with the neck with the head crests attached, and then it looks like we have this other segment here. That might be the upper neck segment that'll allow us to connect it with the rest of the body, I think. No, because those hinges, I see the hinge points that are going to connect it with the rest of the body, so I guess we'll find out shortly what those pieces are actually for. We have about 4 pages left of instructions, if that. Some of it may just be the part count that they do at the end of instruction book. So yeah, we're pretty much right there with this creature. We gotta just finish up the head section. That's the head crest looks nice if you pose it out a little bit and give it a little bit of angling. Makes it look nice and dynamic. So there's the heads. There's the head. You can open its jaw. It's got a nice big purple tongue in there. Some big sharp, some glowing orange eyes. Big sharp fangs. And yeah, this is a really nice looking serpent head. But we're not quite ready to attach it. It says we have to build this one other little section first. And we are definitely almost out of pieces at this point. So yeah, we're just about done here. We just got to do these last couple steps. And then we'll be able to attach the head to the creature's body. And then we will be done with tonight's stream. So yeah, it looks like this might be the little bit of a neck section to round out some neck detailing and shaping, I guess. Yeah, that's what this will be for. This is a little bit of neck here.
Wow. You did all that tonight? Wow. Looks good.
I got like 10 pieces left if you just want to stick around.
I gotta get out of here before I pass out. I'll see you tomorrow.
right, so the next section is almost done. We put that on there, and then we put this on here, and then this piece goes on here, and that section attaches to the back of the creature's head to be, and then these I guess are just spare bits, and then on the next page will show us attaching the head and this top neck section to the rest of the neck. Called it. So those hinges will go onto those like that. Those hinges connect there. Let's bring it down and pose it a little bit. And we have completed the Midgard Serpent build. Nice little side build for the Viking ship. Now I really do, it looks cool. I really do want to find a way to display it with the ship. I have an idea. Might not work, but I have an idea. We'll see what I can pull off with that when I'm playing around with my displays next week. But yeah, let's see here. And yeah, this shows everything together. And then that's the last page of instructions. And I don't know at what point I took the instructions off. Did I just do the whole serpent without showing you the instructions? I'm not sure. So, I think I did that the other night too, where we were doing the final side build and I forgot to turn the instructions back on. Yeah. Silly when I do that, but whatever. Too late now. Alright, who is... So I was wrong about there being no one to raid. We've got a few people here we can raid. Aralina does piano. But she might have raids blocked. She strikes me as the type. We could do John Lee again, but we always do him. So when we have other options... Let's see, we have McDoodle, we raid her a lot too. Music is code, blocks raids.
Bye.
So I think we're gonna raid Nins DB. It's been like many months since I've seen her show, so I don't exactly remember who she is. So we're taking a chance on this one, but I think it'll be a good show. So we're gonna raid Nins DB, but before I submit the raid, let's get a little exit scene going. Let's bring the big... Oh, I didn't give you a close-up of the serpent, so here. That's the completed serpent. Man, this thing looks intimidating and angry. As these big mythological enemy creatures usually are. And then, of course, we're going to bring back into view the main highlight from tonight. This big Viking ship. We did get the set in at under 4 hours. It's 3 hours and 50 minutes almost exactly. So let's, we'll position the ship like this. We'll position the serpent coming at the ship. Like, I guess here we have a nice open space. And let's get these guys. And see what I can do with these guys real quick. And we don't need the brick separator. We ended up not needing it tonight, but always good to have one handy. Alright, let's see how we're going to do this. We'll put a little bool here for scale, showing you just how big the serpent is. And you know what? Let's keep things simple. Our people will just hang out in front again. But I'll show them off again. Here's our two Viking women. And here's the two Viking men. And I probably just made that Viking really angry. Let's hope he was having a good day otherwise. And let's bring this a little closer so that you can see the top of the ship and turn it a little bit. The ravens aren't going to show up. My shirt's too dark, but whatever. Okay. Let's go ahead and call it. Let's initiate the raid and call it out. So, yeah, this was fun. I'll see you on Saturday. Have a good night. And call it out. Okay. Have a good night.